especially when you look at their performances today. They both look like they're in peak form.
Especially over so many matches for the game score to be that close. Atomic already has missed at the start of the game. Chicago will pick this one up. And G2 earlier today against Sonics, they took care of business in exactly the way that G2 fans wanted them to. Low stress and clearly defined better team. Missed. Tried to set that one up. They're having to be the better team on defense, and Atomic puts one right in. EnVy, some early passing gets them the goal.
Yeah, a little confusion here on the G2 half as you see a bunch of players unsure of where to go. Drea's unsure if he should come out, unsure if JNAP should come out. And it leads to the first goal from Team EnVy. They've got to clean things up on defense so they can ensure their offense gets rolling.
And there was some scary moments for EnVy in their earlier match today against the Pioneers where, they went down by 3 goals and then they came back and scored 4 straight. Now, yes, EnVy have done that, I don't know how many times, grid or otherwise. They've put themselves in a lot of comeback positions, but it's going to be a lot harder to pull that sort of stunt off against G2. And while they do have Dries, and while the desk might be right that Dries hasn't had a test like EnVy yet, from what we've seen so far from Dries, I'm not sure it's going to mean that much for him. He flips this one over Atomic. We'll see. There's a lot of length to go at the start of the match. Atomic flips one towards the net, and EnVy earlier looking strong.
Yeah, poor defense yet again from G2. Chicago puts himself in a poor position on that side wall. Thought that ball might just wrap around the corner, but instead pops right out towards midfield. And all Atomic has to do is aim, shoot, and fire. And Team EnVy go up by 2.
He's been involved in all of the offense so far. I know it's only been about a minute, but him and Mist have been passing the ball between each other, trying to create gaps in G2's defense. Successful so far, but they combine their powers, Turbo and Atomic, to pick up that save. JNAPS buys a little bit of time. Chicago actually gets in on the rebound, and Atomic wants Turbo. EnVy get slightly disjointed, but we're back here for JNAPS in midfield.
Oh, great read by Turbo. Sees the JNAPS and Dries not there on that passing play, just steps in, and JNAPS catch carry, looking to pinch that one, but good defense from Team EnVy here. They realize what G2's strong point is, and it's those infield passes, so let's cut them out before they can even form.
And JNAPS 25, but he's got his flip off the ceiling. Was easily boomed away by EnVy. Atomic saying his name a lot here in the opening half. Be able to push that ball forward, force JNAPS to go long. Chicago plays enforcer, but Mist had already hopped over him back out to Atomic.
And I'm very curious to see if G2 is going to continue to go with this aggressive, heavy style offense of, all right, we're going to continue to rotate through their goal line, look for demos, look for bumps, as you see Chicago goes for the boost steal there, and it really threw Atomic off as Dries gets the pass, and Chicago can't get the touch on that one as JNAPS just fires towards net, and Chicago can't squeeze it in. Turbo with the save, and that ball was blinking, man.
Oh my gosh, its health bar was literally, you couldn't see it. It was gone. And Turbo somehow squeezed that ball out of the net. Chicago upset, so he'll take that one. No, he won't. Missed, takes his save, and Chicago is now really upset. Or at least I would be. Uh-oh, Atomic did not expect to be handed the ball like that from Turbo, and Dries has a wide shot. He found it. Dries, precision.
Yeah, Chicago just letting his frustrations out on that ball there, just hammering it and not caring where it went, but so favorable up off that crossbar, and Dries well read and goes far post away from Team EnVy. G2 get their first goal here and cut the lead down to 1.
And while the early passing from EnVy might have been scary for G2, this might bode well for them. Atomic, that's right into JNAPS, and he scores. JNAPS enacts capital punishment onto EnVy, tied up.
Oh, what a read here from JNAPS. Poor touch from Atomic, gets away from him, and he just launches it right down the gut between both defenders.
That was not the touch you wanted if you were EnVy. JNAPS was hoping for that sort of touch. He was daring you to throw that ball in front of the box. And now all of that hard work in the opening 2 minutes has been washed away. G2 on the pressy in the blue half.
Holy smokes, I just looked at the scoreboard. I'm gonna wait for your reaction to come out too, because G2, 11 shots so far here in game number 1 to Team EnVy's 3.
And you know, it looked so good for EnVy at the start. You like the passing. You like that they were able to beat G2 out and take advantage of some favorable kickoffs, but to only put 3 shots on net so far. Now, you know, maybe the big brain play there, Subi, is, well, they're 2 for 3. So
right.
1 more shot means it goes in, right? I'm not sure that's how that works.
I don't know if that's how math works, but 2 of those shots, which are their 2 goals, were those long booming clears that just went over the poor defense of G2. 1 was close in the box, but their rotations weren't there. So it was just simple mistakes on G2's half. And outside of those, they have just been stuffing Team EnVy into their own half.
And again, the desk talking about Dries and wanting to see how he would perform in this match. But as far as game 1 is concerned, it just looks like another, you know, just still marching to their own beat. Dries looks comfortable, and I think I'm sold completely on it at this point. So Dries, underneath, just didn't have enough boost, and the ball got away from him on the touch.
Yeah, Dries, I mean, it's a good thing he plays for G2 because he's unfazed.
Well, Chicago rips this up, missed, takes that back out to Atomic. Maybe go to overtime. Dries squares up, stops EnVy's push, and we will. First game.
Head into overtime here, and G2 looking like the favorites, but Team EnVy, very favorable kickoff here as Turbo puts it into the corner. And Dries, great clear all the way downfield, and I love the speed from Chicago. I brought it up on the pre-show about how I think he's the MVP so far in this regional, and one thing was his speed. He's getting the boost steals, he's getting the demos, he's the fastest player continuously on the pitch, and we're seeing it show right now against Team EnVy.
And when Chicago's had those big pop-off moments, even like stretches of time where Turbo just picks you off in your rotation and EnVy steal the game.
Oh, this is just a very poor clear from JNaps, and he knows it. Oof. That ball's got to be way closer to Dries. He's trying to get that breakout clear, and Turboposa sitting, waiting patiently, and gets the OT dagger.
And that was tough to do, too, because you had missed on the back wall, too, right? So you don't want to hit it into mist and then have it kick straight back out into Atomic or into Turbopulsa. Otherwise, the result is the same. So between a rock and a hard place, EnVy take the overtime victory in game 1 off some fancy wheel work from Mist and Atomic early on, and then staving off the comeback from G2.
Yeah, and just wearing down G2, just saying, okay, bring all of your offense that you can, just go to work. And they just tire them out. 5 minutes is a long time to keep up that pressure and keep up that speed. And Team EnVy, so good on that goal line, getting 8 saves here against G2. Oh. And when you look over at G2, that save right there was incredible. I can't believe that didn't go in. But G2 only 1 save here in this game. And sure, you could argue that the offense really wasn't there for Team EnVy, but there were some shots on target, and I feel like G2's got to do better on defense.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't able to generate nearly as many opportunities. EnVy have done a really good job locking them down. As soon as they get to the blue half, you get 1 shot, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But other than that, EnVy are transitioning back to the orange. So G2 got their work cut out for them as we get underway.
Oh, that's poor touch.
You know, a little bit of pinball is always nice. And Chicago has a perfect read, but so did Atomic. And Mist will get the ball right back out, but JNaps sends it in front of the box. Turbo beats Chicago, but JNaps waits again. Tries to sneak it into the corner, but he can't find the net. Atomic pops this up. Here's a push for G2 off the ceiling. Chicago's got the read. Turbo gets in front of him. And now JNaps will keep the play alive for G2. Oh, the rotation a little slow coming from Mist. He's not there. Turbo comes back, though. And Chicago there to cut off the edge. Hard shot on net. Good luck, EnVy. 1-0.
Oh, you can barely see it. How are you going to save it? 73 miles per hour from the side wall. Holy smokes. What a shot from Chicago.
A torpedo. A straight shot at the net. So G2, where you went down by 2 earlier, and it took a little bit of time to get some, you know, a confidence established. Well, they're the ones who established first strike, and Atomic has a quick transition. Did he just catch G2 out? He did! Atomic, long strike.
Oh, and G2 has had this happen time and time again where they push too far forward on offense, and all it takes is one good pass downfield, and the opponent scores, and EnVy answer quickly.
G2 gotta be careful now. That's not the first goal Atomic has scored from midfield in the match. G2, much as they love to play fast, and they've been much more meticulous about how they approach offense, and so they haven't gotten caught out nearly as often on their offensive pushes. Third man has typically kept things airtight and missed. Can't get the touch. That was a nice one. Back to the side for G2. Drees gets kicked out of the way. Everybody gets kicked out of the way, and JNAPS helps out, but everyone has to recover quickly. No one can. Atomic puts another one in, and EnVy get the second goal.
Oh, Turbo Pulsa getting 2 for 1 here on this play and just leaves the net wide open. Great shot there from Atomic to go down low just in case one of those defenders got his wheels up on that back wall and tried to swoop in low.
A lot tougher for G2 as Drees slips underneath Mist, and Turbo is forced to scoop the ball out of the corner. But Chicago has a nice challenge. Atomic, oh, he almost hit that right into Chicago. Another challenge for EnVy, but it freezes here for G2. They've had a lot of time in the blue half, Subi, but G2 just have not been able to really push EnVy back. Only 3 shots on net, and while EnVy have had 2, you're really feeling that strain on offense from G2.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was looking like Team EnVy was pretty uncomfortable in the first minute when that surge came out from G2, but ever since then, it's like they're lulling G2 to sleep. Like they realize these guys are pushing further and further into our offensive half the longer they stay here. So let's make them comfortable. And once they get comfortable, we can just fire that ball downfield and it's wide open.
And they also have to be careful. G2 have gotten a lot of spacious looks at the blue half from their own third. Missed, just whips right back around, and Drees picked up the save for Chicago. Chicago picks up some pads and almost got that shot on net. Turbo happy it didn't turn into an own goal. Can't quite find the touch. JNAPS pushes it back forward. Atomic backwards can force the ball off JNAPS. Chicago dunked by Turbo Pulsa, and Drees, he just keeps the ball locked in midfield, but G2 can't push forward. JNAPS one more. Go pre-flip, dunk. Atomic gets another clear. He has gotten clear after clear for EnVy and has kept things tidy in the blue half.
Oh, what a pass from Atomic, but a little too close to the box there. If that was closer to midfield, that would have been money for Team EnVy, but Atomic looking to get the back pass to Turbo, and things are getting awkward here for Team EnVy on offense. We see the double commit come out. This is going to be an opportunity here for G2 if they can break out of this half.
Oh, JNAPS just got a big win too. Turbo left alone. JNAPS wants this quickly, but Turbo able to get back to the ball in time. G2, everybody retreating. They're starting to respect that EnVy transition that has killed them a couple of times now, but they still have to convert in the blue half. Keeping things tidy in the orange half is nice, but at this scoreline, it's not enough. Chicago taking this pass from JNAPS. Freezes missed as he waits. Atomic jumping away from Drees. Drees makes the challenge happen. JNAPS and Chicago both commit for this, but Chicago just wants to be close by for that next challenge. Rips the ball out from 2 defenders. Missed the last man back, and he kicks that one hard away from Chicago. Atomic, quick transition, and nothing there. JNAPS takes it back to the corner.
It's amazing what those long-range goals have done to the offense of G2, and Drees gets turned away from Atomic. The goal line stance from EnVy continues to be incredible, and G2 still trying to find another goal to tie this game up. But yeah, Jorby, those long-range goals has really just spread G2 apart, and they've really been punished. Oh my goodness, G2 scrambling.
Maybe they get one here. JNAPS sees it, but Atomic is all over him, and it forces both Chicago and JNAPS to realign. Turbo doesn't give him the space. Drees gets kicked forward, now a one-on-one against Mist. Try to delay him. Chicago with the follow-up, but Mist does so much work to keep G2 out. Turbo gets there in time, and what a defensive effort from EnVy. They can't get the insurance. Turbo misses it off the crossbar as well. Mist, will he find it? No, the crossbar is the most popular spot on the net to shoot at right now for EnVy. Last chance for G2. Chicago gets a hard touch, and it bounces clean off the ramp, but Mist has a full tank of boost, and good luck, Drees. He's got the catch. That's a really good pop for Drees. He's over Turbo. Chicago Now has JNaps down the field. Drees gets the demo. Mist is the last man back, and he has been needed on defense. The demo secures the victory for Team EnVy.
My goodness, G2 making Team EnVy feel the pressure a little bit there. And that was pretty nice from Drees to keep that ball alive, but still, Team EnVy able to weather the storm of G2 in game number 1, and because of that, completely changed their game style in game number 2. And it's like a little kid touching the oven. They realize it's hot after a few times, and they're not going to continue to do it. And G2 just can't keep pushing into Team EnVy zone like that. So that third man isn't there for the follow-ups, and it's allowing Team EnVy to just bomb that ball downfield.
And when EnVy are pressed, I'm impressed by their poise on defense. We saw this in their quarterfinal match where Mist picked up the luckiest save I've ever seen, but it's just because he's in the right spot at the right time, and that is EnVy's defense. G2, they're feeling that pain right now. Their offense has been lackluster, but that's just due to the incredible posture of EnVy on defense. G2 have tried to mix it up, like you said, Subi, but EnVy, they're just picking the gaps and they're winning them. So taking this extra time to try to figure out how to get by, especially Mist. Mist has been Mist. What else can you say about it?
Yeah, you can't, other than G2 forced to take a timeout because of Mist and company. And I like this call from G2. Instead of going down 3 games and then force a reverse sweep in a best-of-7 series, which history does not favor you in those, G2 realize how important this game 3 is. They need a victory. Their tournament lives essentially hang in the balance right now, all due to this timeout. They've got to figure it out right here, right now.
And this is where you might start looking at Drees a little closer with a bit more of a critical eye, because the offense has withered on this team, and they would like some more sunlight, but Drees has still been in the rotation. He's made some good challenges. It's not as if he's been lost on the pitch. He absolutely hasn't been, but this is kind of what the desk was pointing at when you look at G2's previous wins with Drees on the roster, and you understand that the real test really is now with EnVy, and it's going to be just as tough for the rest of the timeout.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to pin it on just one player of G2.
Sure.
And I think it's hard to pin it on G2 in general. I think you pin it all on Team EnVy because they are forcing the mistakes that we're seeing from G2 right now.
Well, if you're a G2 fan at home, you might be looking at Drees because that's the new face.
Right.
And he's had pop-offs before, and you just wonder, okay, so now what's the next step? What's the next leg up for G2? EnVy, they've made this a defensive game. It's been a low shooting affair since game 1. And maybe game 3 has something else in store, but going down 3 games is out of the question for G2. Drees can't get back to that ball. Atomic, who's been rock solid today, just in that first man position for EnVy, creating a lot of value. And Turbo, ever consistent, will force G2 to get a hard clear.
Yeah, and I love that demo that we saw from G2 on the defensive side. Defensive demos to just relieve the offensive pressure from Team EnVy. And I think G2 could use some more of them, to be honest. It's a miss from Turbo, but Drees not expecting that, but so rare to come out. You can't blame the kid there.
Atomic finds Turbo Pulsar, and JNaps punches the ball right out of the net. Chicago gets kicked out of the way, but JNaps wants to give him another look. JNaps slips under Turbo. JNaps muscles past Mist, and Chicago collects for G2.
What great positioning here from Chicago. He sees JNaps with the ball, doesn't panic, doesn't freak out, and just lets himself come to the ball naturally. JNaps and Chicago team up for G2's first goal.
And it wasn't a bad approach from Mist, considering the position he was in. Jump right, get yourself right behind the ball, use the boost to kill your backwards momentum, and then just flip forward. Most times, it's enough for your teammate to get in there for a follow-up. But that time, it popped out straight to Chicago. And now G2 want to push again.
Yeah, I love the aggression there that we saw of trying to get the bumps and demos on JNaps when he's dribbling. But no one had a handle on Chicago, and Turbo Pulse can't quite catch up to that. Atomic fires, but JNaps there again. The defense from JNaps has been incredible so far here in game number 3. And you gotta think, oh my gosh, what is this angle?
You have to go into another dimension to figure out and calculate that angle. That was nasty.
He is nothing short of amazing. This kid always impresses me every time we see him take the pitch.
That is just, I mean, that's disgusting. And now for Chicago and Dries, well, they're blocked out by Turbo Pulsa. And JKnapp's long field carry. Atomic doesn't even get the challenge. He got JKnapp's, and, well, another hard clear for EnVy, and G2 got to start again. They might want to start having that third man start relaxing more. Earlier on, Dries was kind of playing a more relaxed third man, but how many times has this ball just blown by the last defender for G2? They haven't really they've been able to get back every time, but considering the danger of EnVy on the transition, you wonder how long that's going to hold up.
Well, especially just like that, Team EnVy go for the bomb clear, and JKnapp's was way back there, so it's essentially just handing the ball right back over to G2. So I agree with you, Jorby. Spread the offense out a little bit, have that third man just a little further back, not too far, just enough to be able to get back to that goal line should a ball squirt out all the way from the blue half.
Just enough as described EnVy's run through the Regional 2. They have had to scrape and crawl their way through this bracket. And EnVy, they're going to keep the play alive. G2 struggling to hang on to the ball. Dries wants the hard clear, and he does force Turbo up, but Mist just hangs around midfield for a while. And both JKnapp's and Chicago now together, moving forward. Another air dribble for G2, and will be punched back to the corner, but there's just no room to work with in the blue half for G2. Trying to create space here with a pass from Chicago, but Turbo tries to keep things tidy.
Yeah, I think they're playing this right, though. I think G2 is playing this right. Given who's taken the other side of the field and how Team EnVy has been starting their offense, it has absolutely started because of the clears, and they use that man advantage to really push through things, and Mist gets a good save there. But final minute, Jorby, these teams all knotted up, and JKnapp's gets a bomb downfield, but Turbo able to catch up to it.
And he's able to, well, I thought he might have had Dries beat, but Dries has a double to set up an opportunity for Chicago, but the ball never comes back to him. EnVy hits it back to Atomic from Turbo, and Turbo has the go-ahead downfield. Now with no boost, he wants a pass. Does he have it? No. Chicago right there again. Well, the defenses have been matched here between EnVy and G2. Turbo squares up again. Does not want that shot barreling towards the net. Chicago up in front of it, and Atomic can't find it. Chicago's still hanging on to that ball before Mist could sneak it out from under him. EnVy trying to get that boost away. I think Atomic did get it. Mist pre-flip in front. Over another.
Oh!
It squeezes it off the post. It bounced out. Mist got robbed.
Oh, JKnapp standing strong there in the box, but G2 not out of the woods yet, firing all the way downfield, and this ball's still alive in the air, and we hit the ground and head to our second overtime of the series.
I think every game's going to be an overtime at this, or every other game, it feels like. EnVy have forced this to be a defensive battle. I say, like, the shot totals, you have 7-5 in favor of EnVy, but they've been spotty at best, and JKnapp's picks the one spot that will give G2 their first game victory.
It's just a great read. He realizes Turbo is playing it very slow out of the corner, so he goes for the early challenge, and that angle favors him and just launches that ball on target. G2 get their first series win, and it comes right after using that technical timeout.
Well, EnVy now being handed their first loss. Could this be what turns the tide for G2? They played that tactical timeout, and we very rarely see reverse sweeps in best of sevens. I believe it's still only 10 times that it's ever happened in competitive Rocket League history. It is extremely hard to do. The fact that G2 avoid that situation here is fairly massive. JKnapp setting that up for Chicago. And again, the chances, Subi, we don't see a lot of them. Atomic created one of his own right there, but it's going to come down to who can come up with that one creative opportunity, because I don't know if either of these defenses are going to relent.
I don't see it happening, and Team EnVy right now forcing G2 to play their game, and that's a defensive-minded game. We're going to slow things down and not allow you to use your speed to catch us off guard with those infield passes. So right now, it's on G2 to try and shake things up. They're coming off of a game win. They just, really avoided being put on life support, so G2 has a lot of questions to answer here in game number 4.
Could one be enough to pole vault them into a tied series? Turbo kicks it around. That's a nice pass to miss, just high, and it will be grabbed by Chicago.
And you saw the idea there, trying to get that to Drees, but the accuracy just not quite there, so it leads to a turnover. Couldn't get their offense started, and again, Drees trying to go downfield. You see him trying to get that cherry pick all the way downfield to try and catch Team EnVy kind of off guard.
Now, they've certainly had that success a few times. JNAV's almost found another one. Drees has a pass over to Chicago, but it's blocked by Atomic. JNAV's a little far back. He's on the opposite corner. He almost got picked off, and he had the diving stop in front.
JNAPS has been the backbone for G2's defense, but
oh my gosh!
Barely misses on that. Oh my goodness, they've been robbed so many times.
Oh, Turbo might have a breakaway. Drees just helped out. No, helped out his teammate, JNAPS. Now he's over Turbo. Missed, forced to the save. Chicago backside, and he's got him, and he's denied again. Atomic, the diving stop, and the savior for EnVy this time. JNAPS tries to squeeze it through, but Chicago right up for it, and you can't buy a goal in this match.
Oh, defense wins championships, and both of these teams trying to get to the grand finals through this match to win one of those championships. But here comes Team EnVy. Off of the sidewall is missed and doesn't get the best touch. So that's going to lead to a fast break for G2. Here comes Drees. One-on-one. Pops it a little too high, and Atomic denies.
Well, you love the idea. He was low on boost and tried to take that as an advantage to get the bump. Chicago again on the back line. Clutch on the save. Turbo wants this, but Drees is there. G2, their defense getting snappier as time goes on. But EnVy retain possession in midfield.
Miss.
Back around to the side. Atomic trying to squeeze it in, and they're feeling the gap squeeze as Chicago gets the dump downfield.
I can't believe the saves we've seen so far, not only in the series, but just this game alone. It's been insane how many what-if balls there have been, and G2 continue to press down with this aggression. They're trying to turn it into a G2 style game instead of Team EnVy controlling the pace up and down the field.
Well, that's a nice transition to start it, and there's a lot of space here for G2 to get back to the ball. Drees pass in front to JNAPS. JNAPS on the catch, the flick, and Mist has the save. Back in front, Atomic can be the one to challenge, but Chicago actually pulled off the play. And again, G2, maybe the old G2 would have just pressed forward, but the new G2 has Drees on the roster, and he puts in the first for G2.
JNAPS is flying through the air and deserves the command and respect from Team EnVy, but in sneaks Drees to put that ball left side. I love that from G2.
You said it too, respect. Turbo respected JNAPS' ability to hit that double tap. Oh, and EnVy got burned. Missed. Has a pass to Turbo. Here's a good setup for EnVy. Well, it might have just gotten worse, and Drees will get a quick clear out. Neither team ever willing to just dump the ball out to midfield on purpose. They'd much rather pass it laterally on the back wall, and if they really don't have a chance to challenge the ball past the third, they won't take it. You saw EnVy, they had Turbo downfield. Now they've set up this pass from Mist. Mist has 2 touches. Mist has the goal. Disgusting.
You want to know how to do double taps? Watch this. He puts it left side and puts the shot right. Forces Drees to cover up that left upper 90. Right side is wide open. The mechanics from Mist are incredible.
Is another overtime looming? With how the defenses have looked, you certainly might think so. Atomic all over that ball, and Mist just a little farther back. But he's able to get back to the ball. A series of nice challenges gives Turbo a nice bounce. Atomic first there. JNAPS has the save. That was looking scary at first. Mist locked and loaded underneath. Got right by Chicago, or tried to at least. Chicago got the clear.
Yeah, Chicago ripped him there. Just absolutely stole that one away. JNAPS, a little too far off. And Chicago fires at the exact same spot. G2 starting to pepper this net, and Drees had a good look, but launched that one too high.
Ooh, and Chicago missed that corner boost on his way out. Atomic was able to pick it up. Now he's got the go-ahead. 1, 2, where's the follow-up from Turbo? There it is, and it's taken away by Drees. Here comes Mist across, and the shot right underneath Chicago. Missed! Elite striking.
Disaster striking G2 on the defensive end. Chicago should have had that one covered up. JNaps expected it, and it just sneaks into the back of the net. Mist could do no wrong.
Mist got it done on defense earlier, getting it done in the shooting in a big game. Atomic lets this one come to him. Just try to force that challenge in front. The more uncomfortable they can make G2 feel on defense, the more opportunities that will arise. But G2, not to be trifled with, well, maybe they are, as Atomic gets a massive dunk. Chicago in a tough spot, but he's able to make the touch. Misses the ball.
Numbers.
Now Chicago, it's got a one-on-one, dumps it to the left. Turbo has the save, and JNaps quickly swipes to the right. Now popping it over, but is there any play here for G2? Turbo makes a couple of challenges. Drees next up, has a pass in front. Chicago back over to JNaps. The hustle from G2 for one last hurrah at the net. And Turbo almost owned gold. Chicago gets one more pass out the Drees. JNaps is nowhere in sight. Atomic just has to put it on the ground, and he does. Team EnVy one away from the grand finals.
Oh, I love that fake at the end there, going up and making JNaps think you're going to touch it. That ball touches the ground. Couldn't have happened any sooner for Team EnVy. And 3-1 right now. G2 need to win 3 in a row. Such a tall order against this very composed Team EnVy.
They are so tough to crack. They are in that form that they were earlier this season, where you couldn't get anything by them. You couldn't stay in their half long enough to really get the pressure going. But the difference is G2 were able to put pressure on EnVy. It's just Atomic had 4 saves, Mist had 3 saves, so almost every single one of their shots taken away by an EnVy player. And JNaps, you look back at that one shot he had, Subi, the open net that he couldn't put on target. And that's the one clean opportunity that G2 had that they couldn't convert.
Well, and they're hard shots. It's not like it's an easy one to put in, but when you're at this level, those are the ones that you gotta make ring home, because you don't get many looks at an open net. Even if it is the smallest of windows, you gotta be able to find it and put it in.
So when push comes to shove, how do G2 respond? Atomic picks up the save off a quick shot from Chicago. Drees pass in front to Chicago. Back to Drees. Popped off the back wall, but Atomic, he doesn't have to make the touch. Turbo once in. JNaps cuts back in on the rotation. Pass in front, but Chicago will not commit, and it's a clear for Atomic.
Oh, this is dangerous. Drees got to rush back, and he does. Good heads-up play, realizing there's a man advantage for Team EnVy there. You just need to cover up that goal line. And Drees bombing that one downfield, but Mist puts himself in a pretty position to get that steal. And let's see what G2 can do with a little bit of space here. They can get any type of offense started.
EnVy find Atomic downfield. Off the backboard, Atomic has the double, but not as threatening as he would have liked.
Oh, no.
Missed. It's open. G2, Chicago. Just too slow to get back, and Turbo Pulsa gets the first.
It's that double commit. The double commit right there. You saw when JNaps was getting that save, Chicago bit and jumped all the way across the goal line, put him entirely out of position. You gotta be able to communicate a little better than that, a little more on the fly, because that's what can happen. And good bump there by JNaps to get this off that ball.
That was looking a lot like the last semi, where Garrett tried to bump Reddles on the kickoff to prevent that from happening, but just missed him. This time, in this match though, it's a little different for G2. They do not go down 2-0 early. They might even tie it right here with Chicago. He slips under Mist, and he's been difficult on the blue line, hasn't he? He has just been in the face of G2 when they want to go high on the attack, when they want to go fast. Mist somehow is always there. Now Atomic here to help him out. That might give JNaps a chance to Chicago. Chicago just wide of the net, and Drees has to turn tail and run, because here comes Turbo Pulsa on the ground hop air dribble. Right through him, Turbo Pulsa!
Just muscles his way to the goal line, and all the way from his own half, he just stays straight and just feathers his boot to keep it out of the hands of Drees. My goodness, how long is Turbo Pulsa gonna be this good?
Proof that you need 0 twirls in your game to score an air dribble in the RLCS. Mist back in front, trying to keep Drees off the ball. Turbo, he's starting to get into true turbo form, which is he's just in the right spot at the right time. Oh, and Atomic gravity assists his save there, but what a shot. Oh, it's wide, and JNAPS tries to get a pass out to Chicago. He does not succeed. Turbo cuts off the angle. Dries pops this up high. Chicago in the air, and no one gets it despite the bump happening. Atomic now quick, and his player got deleted, so he's got to retreat, or maybe not.
Oh, such a bummer. Dries got the mid-air demo, and Chicago couldn't hammer it home as Turbopulso gonna launch, and Chicago there on the goal line, but that's got to be a goal, right? Yes, sir. Third one in for Team EnVy.
Well, it's just turning into a disaster for G2. Chicago tries to clear, and Turbo was right there waiting for it. Turbo has the beat on the pitch. In fact, I think he's creating the rhythm right now because he's in the right place at the right time, 3 touches before he needs to be there. When Turbo's playing like that, good luck. Just good luck. That's what made EnVy so unbeatable early this season. That's why their defense was so clutch. Yeah, you got Mist, who is always going to make solid contact with the ball, and you got Atomic, who can wow you with the mechanics and his challenges, but then there's Turbopulsa, who just seems to pop out of nowhere to ruin your day.
His positioning is the best in the game. He always knows exactly where to be and when to be there. Good catch and carry from Dries to get that ball and keep G2 alive. There's still hope in this one. But, coming into this game, G2 was already on DEFCON 5. Backs against the wall. If they lose, they're going home. And after that first goal, it just seemed like panic mode set in, and they felt like we need a goal now, and we'll try and do whatever we can to get it. And it just seemed like they overextended way too much. And a lot of these goals are just little mistakes from G2.
Dries setting up for JNAV, but Turbo's in front of it again. Dries kicks back around, but doesn't make contact. Chicago, 11 boost, a dream, and a goal! G2 are right back in it.
The comeback starts now. Don't say that there's a chance. Don't say that there's a hope. Just keep it alive for now. Good play from Dries to cause chaos on that goal line, and an even better carry from Chicago.
So G2, you got 2 goals now to score, and you've bought yourself plenty of time to do it. JNAPS on the cheat up will force Turbo for a long clear, but Turbo's up to the task. And JNAPS, not the best outlet pass to JNAPS, or to Chicago, excuse me, is Dries. He lets that one rip down. A little bit of space for Chicago right in front of Dries. Dries has the net. Atomic freezes it, but Chicago is right there to heat this game right back up.
Oh my goodness. Perfect position for G2 right now. We're down 3 with 1:30 to go in this game. Now only down 1 with a full minute to get to work.
2 goals in 30 seconds. And G2 all of a sudden have more than 1 breath of life. Chicago in front on the kickoff. Atomic. He makes the first save. But Dries is there! Demolition Derby for G2! Tie game!
Aggression coming out in 30 seconds, and they pepper the net with 3 goals. G2 refuse to be put to sleep.
What a comeback. EnVy, who are used to coming back from down 3 goals, just got a 3 spot put on them in a comeback. G2. Chicago in front. Chicago, oh, baby! Oh my goodness, Chicago! The comeback kid takes the lead for G2!
Gets himself a hattie. Oh my Lord, look at that carry. Look at the catch. Look at the double. G2, nothing short of brilliant here in game number 5.
If you're thinking you changed the channel on Twitch, you haven't. This is the same match. G2, 4 goals in 45 seconds. That's unbelievable offensive output in a semifinal against a team that has been clutch on defense. And how about clutch from JNAPS? Oh, the knapsack delivers on defense.
Oh my goodness, defender of the day, absolutely. And you're just slowing things down and burning a lot of time off the clock. Long, swooping hits, forcing EnVy to go all the way back to defense, and Dries just launching it on target. G2 need to hold on for 10 more.
Mist able to force the ball forward. Turbo's there around quickly. Off the corner, Chicago gets it right by him. Dries gonna let Chicago go forward. Atomic has the challenge, and JNAPS gets the clear, and it does not bounce on the ramp. G2 survive in a blast of offense. wow.
For anyone out there doubting Drees, it's time to zip it. This kid is the real deal. 8 shots, and the aggression started when it was crunch time. Down 3-0, he was involved in every single one of those offensive surges, whether it was carrying the ball downfield to try and get the demo, to start things, whether it was getting the passes, whether it was getting the goals. This kid is fun to watch, and G2 firing on all cylinders.
Chicago in the in-game chat just types in TAC ? Tactical timeout. Miss goes, no. Chicago just puts in, you guys shaking? So I think Chicago's feeling himself right now. G2, can they do it, Subi? Can they force game 7? Or can EnVy right the ship here? Because there's a couple of holes they're going to need to patch.
I think they made a pretty good argument there in game number 5, but game 6, again, they need to win 2 more in a row to take down EnVy. EnVy still on match point, but they got outshot there, very badly in the last minute and a half.
So EnVy, where everything has been consistent up to this point, a comeback of that volume so quickly is going to be tough to come back from. But resiliency has been something that has helped EnVy through tough spots before. It's one of the reasons why they come back so often from multi-goal deficits. But G2, this is a new look squad. Can they keep it going? Well, a double commit from Drees at Chicago, it might take a little longer.
Yeah, that's going to force them back on defense, and Miss taking Chicago out of the equation. No one's on the goal line right now. This could be dangerous, and Chicago can't get there. That demo paid off dividends.
It absolutely did. Chicago on the spawn did what he could to get back to this. Cuts in and tried to time his flip perfectly, but that ball just had too much velocity on it, and so his flip timing was off by a half second. No good for Chicago.
Yeah, there's a moment where, Drees is a rookie and a veteran's going to rush back to cover up that goal line, because while Chicago did technically get there, didn't have the boost after rushing back to try and cover it up, so he couldn't get to that ball. Such good shot placement there from Turbo, and he's got another one, but a little too high. And G2 thanking their lucky stars as Drees trying to run downfield, had JNaps to play bully, and how the tides shift. EnVy with man advantage going downfield.
They do have that insurance that they missed that might loom over their heads, but Chicago gets bumped off the play, and Turbo sneaks it right in. Well, where you were worried before, he collects that insurance anyway.
Yeah, Turbo getting the Goomba Stomp, or Atomic gets the Goomba Stomp on Chicago there, says sit right back down, and Turbo puts it on target yet again. But, G2's probably saying, we got you right where we want you. This is where we had you last game, and we watched you crumble.
Oh, Atomic's going to grab this one quickly. What a response from EnVy to start the game. Sometimes after a comeback like that, you'll watch it, like you said, you'll watch a team crumble, but EnVy are rarely that type of team. Mist forces the ball in front, almost got a shot himself, but Drees took it out. Mist isn't done. Mist is never done. Mist gets the 3rd goal for EnVy.
I mean, look at the mechanics here from Miss. He's going up, break time, and then gets the ball. That is so hard to reel in, and then to be able to put it on target. Miss putting in the 3rd one for Team EnVy, and again, G2 down by 3 early.
Well, Drees gets this on the kickoff again. He has got a shot, but Mist has the save. Chicago perfectly lined up, perfectly placed, and Chicago puts G2 right back in it.
Why, G2? Why do you continue to do this to yourself? But Chicago getting one back quickly and sneaking it right under the crossbar. I'm very curious to see how G2 is going to approach this. If they're going to play aggressive like they did last match, or try and pull something out, because they realize Team EnVy, one of the smartest in the business at figuring out what your team's doing and countering it.
Oh, Chicago with the changeup shot. It almost worked, but Mist still got that save. He bangs that as hard as he can, and it's just a transition opportunity for EnVy. But, Subi, you talked about how Chicago was your pick for MVP so far during the pre-show, and it's little things like that he's been so good at this weekend that really make you believe that. And he doesn't get that goal, but it's just little stuff. It's the little things that get me, man.
I agree. It's those little things that when you're looking, like me watching on auto cam right now, pulled back so I can see what the players are trying to set up, the team play is going on. You kind of miss those when you're pulled back, but when you're looking at the player cam, it's incredible to see the minute little actions he's inputting on his controller just to make his car do the smallest things that can lead to the biggest plays.
Oh, JNabs on his way out of the stadium got that touch. Atomic, the ball snuffed out by Chicago, but Turbo collected that midfield boost. Still, he's in a tough spot. Chicago sets up JNabs. JNabs has the shot, but it's saved by Atomic. Back out to the corner for EnVy to get the clear.
Oh, and G2 all going back at the same time. I'd like them to try and keep pressure up on that because, as you know, Jorby, just because you're boostless doesn't mean you're useless. You can keep pressure on, and your opponents don't know that you don't have boost. You can keep that pressure going and feint towards going to that ball.
Turbo got the catch here. G2 have been able to stretch EnVy laterally, but EnVy get the last laugh as they got the clear. Atomic gets this rebound, puts it up high. Awkward for JNabs, but he's up for it. And Chicago dumps it back down for Drees. Turbo cuts him off. Mist already up in the air, beyond the midfield line. Up off the ceiling, and Drees can bring it back down gently to get it back out to the side. Drees being harassed from every single side, and he does get the clear.
There we go, Jorby, getting towards the final minute. G2 still need 2. And my, how good it would feel to get one right now. So you got plenty of time to work with to tie this game up. As Chicago launches towards net, both go for Team EnVy. This is going to be a good opportunity for G2.
Chicago was able to make that challenge happen, but Mist was there waiting for it. The rest of G2 were around, and JNabs has to fly back to get the ball out to the corner. Time running out. Drees downfield to Chicago. Chicago wants the catch, but Mist had him read all day long. JNabs able to force the save out. Drees, a full tank of boost in his car, and a pass out to JNabs. Chicago just gonna let that ball go to the side. How do G2 approach this? Atomic, JNabs slips through him. Turbo, he's in trouble, and Drees misses the touch. Chicago races back to it in the corner. JNabs is up for it. The shot denied by Mist again. Chicago cuts back in front off the corner. Turbo gets there again. Turbo Pulsa, clutch in the waning seconds in Neo Tokyo. Here flip again by Chicago, but Turbo Pulsa's there. Drees tries to get the clear out, but there's no time left for G2. Team EnVy will meet Space Station Gaming in the grand finals.
And I said it before, Jorby, never, ever bet against Turbo Pulsa on Championship Sunday. And he does it on the backs of Atomic and Mist. This team, this potential, the sky is the limit.
I am so excited to see this grand final. You've got, right now, the most dangerous offense in North America in Space Station Gaming, and the ironclad defense of Team EnVy. Unstoppable force meets immovable object. The grand finals coming up for you after the break.